We're going to take a quick look at the 1403 Horning cornhead, talk a little bit about preseason maintenance, and or if you're in harvest, something changed, you start having little problems. Can also be covered as a troubleshooting video. Take a few minutes to go over the head, make it work its best. Some of the things you may want to check is, as you go to put the head on the chopper, make sure the top of the deflector is flush with the top of this rotor, and also make sure that this deflector is not broke off. You also want to make sure it's slid back, that the dog bone or the cutoff runs tightly against the tip of the teeth. If you run into any issues that you have, that it seems that it's hanging up over the crop guides on the front, check to make sure your, I'm going to call them whackers, are all intact. There should be 4 on each head and should be adjusted down as far as possible with spacers that they miss the highest point. Another thing you want to check, make sure your feed roll springs are tensioned properly. There's times that we've seen that the spring tension has worked loose and that it does not feed properly in the chopper. Just a quick look, make sure they're tight before you head to the field. Another maintenance item, if there seems to be an issue flowing into the chopper, make sure this piece is trimmed nicely, not hanging down, and that your harvester does not have a grain saver on. The grain saver is a rubber piece on the New Holland machines that goes up halfway across the front lure feed roll, and that one will need to be moved to run properly with the Horning cornhead. As the head gets older, or if there's any mishap, check your blades. If those tips are all wore off, it'll keep from getting a nice clean cut on your crop, and that can also hinder your crop flow. Every year you will need to check your bullhorns. Those keep your flow of your crop, and if you have a very tall crop, they will need to be run higher. If it's a low, short crop, they will need to be run lower. What can happen if you have them extremely high on a short corn? It can let the crop actually fall flat across the front of your corn head, and that doesn't feed properly. If you're running the corn head extremely high for cut length, it will give a gap between the rubber piece and your bottom feed roll, and that can keep the crop from flowing in nice and square into the feed rolls. 2 solutions. You can either lift your chopper so that the head runs a little bit more of an angle, or you can try extending the rubber piece, depending what model you have on, so that there is no gap between the rubber piece and your bottom feed roll. Another little detail, as you go out, get ready to cut, make sure the slot from your stuffer to your feed rolls is nice and cleaned out. I believe that covers the preseason maintenance troubleshooting video for the Horning 1403.